Reddit, what is 10x scarier at night than day? Telephone calls. Telephone call at 3 p.m. you think, telemarketer. Telephone call at 3 a.m. you're thinking fuck, someone died. Nothing good can come from a phone call after 9 p.m. Someone knocking on your door. I grew up in a pretty rough neighborhood. Some confused crackhead knocking on your door late at night was commonplace and never really bothered me. As an adult I moved to a pretty isolated village, and at 11 p.m. the local church decided it was a good time to knock on my door and sing hymns. Scared the shit out of me. What the hell kind of church is that? Church of Satan. Your neighbor using a wood chipper. That's complete natural. Just ignore the screams. That's just the squeaky gears in the machine. Blood? Oh gosh no, that's just sap. That tree sure did have a lot of sap. Jesus, that's a lot of sap. Clothes piled up in the chair opposite to your bed. I once stared at a hanger for hat, don't know what it's called, for an hour thinking it was a man stalking me. Silly 8 years old. Embarrassing story time. When I was in elementary school I had a vertical fan at the end of my bed, and one night I went to sleep with my clothes basket still sitting on the bed. I just did. At like 3 in the morning I knocked it off in my sleep, and instead of knocking over the fan it scraped against the side, making a buzzing noise. So I woke up, terrified, to some crazy noise and not being able to see anyone, and for some reason the explanation my brain came up with was that there was a midget with a chainsaw hiding under my bed waiting to kill me. I laid petrified in my bed until it got light enough out for me to see the basket of clothes on the floor and piece together what had actually happened. I told my parents about it and still get made fun of for it almost 20 years later. I've got one for you. It was, I believe, around the time the Fourth Kind movie came out. I was in my bedroom at night, hadn't yet gotten to the light switch so I was in total darkness. Suddenly, a bright green light started shining in the room, just for a second, and then disappeared. I was too frightened to move, totally paralyzed. I knew it wasn't the reflection from a car's headlights. I stayed frozen in place for a while. It sparked up again in a different spot in the room, floated around, then disappeared. I eventually got the courage to lunge across the room and pull the switch. It was a lightning bug. People screaming randomly. You don't get scared when that happens during the day? Nah, I hear that every day since I live next to Crackheads. I was going to say college town but then I realized these are synonymous. I thought crackheads were nocturnal creatures? My cat suddenly staring at the empty corner of my bedroom. Probably about a month before I moved out of my apartment in 2018 I was going to bed and my cat was at the foot of the bed. Usually she would leave the bed when I went to bed but that night she stayed there. I wasn't sleeping yet, just messing around on my phone when she went on high alert staring into the kitchen and living room. With the door to the bedroom and living room open it was a straight shot. She did it for so long that I got freaked out and turned on all the lights and investigated. Made sure all doors and windows were locked. I found nothing but it was quite a while before I calmed down and slept. The next day I remembered that I had a camera set up in the living room so I pulled it up just to see if I saw a ghost or something. I did not see a ghost. What I saw was something crawling on the cat's bed in the living room. It wasn't the best camera so I couldn't tell what it was, just that it was something, but I was thinking mouse. Several days passed and the cat didn't do the staring into the dark for 30 minutes thing again and I didn't see anything so I figured whatever it was gone. Ha no. I walked into the bathroom a few nights later and turned on the light and saw the largest roach I have ever seen in my fucking life, and I'm from Florida. I think I blacked out but I think I killed it. I had lived in that apartment for almost 8 years and had never seen a roach, and until I moved out a month or so later it was the only roach I saw. So it's not always ghosts. Sometimes it's a giant fucking roach. There's a gap between the window and curtain so you get showdowns and lights from cars and people passing by. Terrifying when at 3 a.m. you think someone's about to try climb in through your window. Every shadow becomes terrifying at night. Aha, that coat in the corner of your room starts to look like a serial killer. Guy forgot about that. You see a man hunched over in a pile of clothes or a face in a stuffed animal. Terrifying stuff. Simple explanation for that, really. When you're in the dark, your brain tends to make sense of what you're seeing by making faces that aren't there. The unexpected sound of a long forgotten, and presumed dead, Furby as it shrieks Furbish from the bowels of your childhood closet. This happened to me. Creepy mofo didn't have any batteries or anything, and all of a sudden, 2 a.m., I wake up and hear ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. I see you. Ha ha ha. The man who sleeps with a machete under his pillow is a fool all nights but one. No fucking clue. Probably some dead guy. Swimming in the ocean. I remembered the story my colleague shared with us during our training years ago. He is one of the few who survived the AK tsunami. He drifted in the ocean for 9 days, dead bodies nearby, lots of debris. He used the debris to build himself a makeshift raft. He saw bodies being eaten by sharks and all manner of sea creatures, even children's. Nighttime was the scariest for him. You never know what lurks underneath you, plus with no moonlight, the fear level is up a few more notches. And to this very day, he is afraid of the dark, which is understandable. He kept his spirits high and survived on whatever he could eat and drink. He saw a ship past him, but they didn't see him. A few days went by, nothing. He almost gave up until a ship came and took him to safety. The moment his legs touched the ship's floor, he was totally spent and collapsed. He and his other sibling are the only members of his immediate family to have lived through the tsunami. His parents and 2 siblings perished during the tragedy. He could have avoided the whole ordeal, but on his way to run to the hills, he stopped by to bring his uncle along to run too, which slowed him down. His uncle didn't make it. On the flip side, he was offered full scholarship to further his studies, got a career at the same university, and he is now happily married too. Here's a video interview of him. This is the story of Risal Shaputra. The ocean. When I think about falling off a ship at night, I just hope the fall kills me. Don't ever watch open water. For me it's being in a battleship but the power goes out in the lower deck and you can't see a thing trying to find a way up but it fills up with water. Valp found a brand new worst fear scenario. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you have a similar story, share it in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe for more. Have a great day, or night.